Something creatives really run into is the failure to launch. We plan as a form of procrastination. We try to pick the perfect timing. We try to pick the perfect space. We try to wait for our turn to shine instead of just jumping in, letting it be a process, and putting ourselves out into the world continuously, because every person that sees our art, that we work with, that we meet, every moment is so special. But you never get that if you never launch. Hi friends, it's Alex. Welcome to the Guiding Creatives podcast. This is a spot for creatives and the multi-passionate. And today we're going to talk about failing to launch. You're never starting. You're planning, so you convince yourself that you're starting something, but you never actually launch it or put yourself out there, and what that does to you as a creative person. We're going to start with a short snippet from The Talk. It's a TV show or interview show. Jamie Lee Curtis had a very profound statement that relates to something I live with a lot, and I think it's a great way to start this discussion and this episode.
When I turned 60, I realized that the tragedy of my death was not my death, but the creativity that I have inside me that didn't get to come out. And so I woke up at 60 and thought, if not now, when? If not me, who? And I'm telling you, from that moment to now, I have a production company. I've written a movie. I have 4 TV shows in production.
Whether it is a scary thought or not, this does give me some existential dread when I say it, but I am going to say it to you because motivation and inspiration is a mix of gentle love and a kick in the butt. Some of us, and I'm really referring to myself here, needs that tough love. So take this statement with you, whatever it means, journal about it, don't internalize it too much, but your ideas die with you. And that's something we can really take from what Jamie Lee Curtis was saying. They die with me. Nobody is you. Yes, it's very common for people, even the most unique idea, for more than one person to have it, because ideas flow. But the fact is, nobody can do it the way you're going to do it. And no amount of planning is going to substitute the uniqueness you can bring by just taking action. I am a planner and I love planning. I think it's also therapeutic for me. I think it's a very mindful practice that I do, but there is this blurry line that I cross where planning is procrastination. Planning is the comfort zone, and planning is fear and insecurity. Things need to be perfect. Things need to be at the perfect time. If something goes wrong in the plan, or I didn't plan for enough time, we push and we rewrite the plan. And then guess what? You never do it. You have notes and apps and software full of planning and ideas, but it's never brought to life. When are you going to do it? Is it really going to be next month? And something I want to say that I also don't want you to have existential dread with, but it's another kick in the butt. You try to plan for the right time. If you are in a safe space, if you have energy, you're feeling healthy, things are going well, why are you waiting for a month? Because that's going to be the perfect time. Anything can happen in 30 days, 28 days, whatever month you're in. Anything can happen. So this idea of the perfect time, this calculated time, at some point we have to admit it's a little bit of nothing. We've made it up. We're convincing ourselves. Obviously, yes, if you're launching a winter product, launching it in the spring is not that great. But I could argue if you launch in the spring, you perfect everything. So by the time winter comes, seamless and popular and trendy. That's just an example that came to my head, but we're going to dive into some beliefs, myths, ways to overcome this failure to launch period as a creative, and then I'm going to challenge you to do something at the end. And as always, these podcasts, I do my morning pages every morning. I write out what we're going to talk about, and we just go off this. It's a couple jot notes, and the rest is, as you can tell, off the top of my head. It makes me emotional sometimes when I read these things. Planning is a safe space. It's private. You can be enthusiastic because anything is possible. No one can judge you. Everything is exciting. That is something I really relate to. My biggest insecurities are I don't handle feedback well. Even if it's meant with good intention, I take it so personally, and it's not a great quality to have if you want to be a creative person, whether that be a freelancer, a content creator, an artist, whatever trajectory you're on. You have to be able to take feedback no matter where it comes from, there's going to be a little bit of truth to it. Because either you're going to tell the people who are not your audience, or you're going to be able to see the people who are your audience who need more from you or who need something else from you. It's a hard pill to swallow. And that's why planning is so fun, because nobody sees my planning. I'm planning it. I have this all thought out in my head. It's going to work like this. This is going to happen. I'm so excited. There's no feedback phase there. Have you ever had a plan or an idea and you voice it to somebody and their energy doesn't match yours and it just makes you want to sink into the couch? I feel like that a lot. I'm not saying if somebody doesn't receive it well that you need to ditch it, because really when someone doesn't receive it well, that needs to be like fuel to your fire to say, let me show you what this looks like. When you speak an idea that has no tangible example, you're trusting that person's creativity and imagination to match yours. And that's where you start to see the imbalance or the uniqueness that you have compared to other people. Because this idea is more than what the two of you think. It's something you can execute in your own unique way, but that other person is never going to truly understand it unless you actually do it. So there is obviously forms of fear, there's forms of insecurity, the comfort zone, holding yourself back, that keeps us in the planning phase. The next thing I wrote says, being ready is a myth. How can you be 100% ready for something you haven't done before? Yes, 100%. I'm launching my membership for Guiding Creatives. It's going to be like a little creative space, little community. It's going to be challenges, resources. I just want to help people. I've been in creative memberships. I've been in other unrelated memberships. I have no idea what this is going to look like. I don't know what the feedback is going to be. How can I be ready? I need to do it. I need to have people in there receiving the items, giving me feedback, so I know how to make the process. I know how to streamline the process, and I know how to evolve. You're never going to learn everything until you start. So how can you be 100% ready for something that you have no idea exactly how it's going to look? Obviously, there is some groundwork. Don't come for me. There's obviously you want to make sure that to-do list is done and that you're ready as much as you can be, but stop aiming for that 100%. Just make sure everything is set up in a way that you can scale it, that you can evolve. You have that foundational base that is the only thing you know how to do. The rest you have to allow to come post-launch. You have to let yourself be ready that last 25% of feeling ready, and you might not ever reach 100, but that next bit of percent is going to come from after people are seeing it, after it's out there. You can relaunch at all times. Every day is different, okay? You're not stuck to something because you launch it like it is. It's meant to grow and evolve. If you stayed the exact same, you wouldn't be human. And at the end of the day, creativity, art, branding is part of humans. It's not just this random technological thing. It's coming from something human. It's normal for it to change. The next thing I have here says, we retreat to the drawing board, we buy planners instead of hire, we write scripts instead of film. This is very personal. I feel like I'm reading my journal, but I think it's going to be helpful for this discussion. But I always buy planners instead of actually hiring people to help me with the tasks or to review the tasks or something that I need to invest in to really take action. I'm like, you know what? This could use another project planner. That is a form of procrastination. That is a form of self-sabotage, if I'm being honest. Because 1, it's not a great business expense. 2, I'm retreating. 3, I'm putting my time elsewhere when I should be moving forward. I'm stepping backwards. We don't think we are because we think that we've overcome this hurdle, we've learned something, so okay, we need to regroup and plan again. But you've actually stepped back into the planning phase. Don't get it twisted. When you're planning alongside your growth, that's when you're moving forward. It's okay to take a break and to pause things and regroup if something major happens. But truthfully, like life, it keeps going. You have to keep going as things go the normal pace. There's so many videos that I have ideas for that it's such a delicate balance of you have to target your audience, which means you talk about things that are trendy or relatable or searchable, and you have these unique ideas that you want to put out there. And the payoff is not always instant, which is why we struggle, I think. But the fact is if all these scripts remain scripts and I never film them, you are never going to see that side of me. You're never going to be introduced to maybe something new, and you're never going to really see all the power I have in me that I could put into YouTube because I'm trying to fit a trend. Get out of the comfort zone. It's okay to experiment. When you're thinking about making it profitable or doable, obviously, yes, you need to balance, making videos for people that are going to reach people and then experimenting. But it doesn't mean you should never experiment. It's your responsibility to find that balance. I'm also realizing it looks like I'm wearing flowers on my head. If you're watching on YouTube, every short is going to look like I have flowers on my head, but that's what we have to do today. The last point I have here says, planning is a beautiful and powerful tool for creatives. Action is when you really start living the creative life. Plan and launch simultaneously. Your creative ideas and this creative process that you have is something you have to keep. You need to keep having these ideas. Not every idea needs to see the light of day. That's not what I'm saying. But you are not living your creativity until you let it flow. I feel like planning is sometimes a form of daydreaming. You can see what your future can hold. You can see what you're going to create, what you're going to make, what you're going to put out there, but you just never do it. And why? You have to start asking yourself, why are you planning for this? How long have you been planning? Maybe just start setting some deadlines. Maybe create expectations. With my membership, I had to start putting out like a date, taking email signups because I need to be held accountable. That's sometimes what you need to do. What I want you to do, and it's a challenge, is something that's been in the planning phase for a little while. I want you to close the book, do not plan a step further, and just start. Whether that be creating the website, maybe it's creating the username, maybe it's writing the first line of a book, maybe it is going to an audition. Like maybe there's so many different things that you just need to take that one step, because the truth is you're going to learn so much in that one step that you needed in the planning phase that you would never had known if you didn't do it. And I feel like once you take that one step and you get that visibility of, okay, I should have known to do this, and then things would have been easier for me. And then you start saying, okay, so I'll take the second step so I can learn more and actually be more ready for the third step. That's when you start seeing that action is better preparation than planning. I'll say that again. Action can be better preparation than planning, but you have to do it. We're going to end today's episode by highlighting again what Jamie Lee Curtis said. You're going to wake up one day and you're never going to regret chances you took on the creative ideas that you had. You're never going to regret the chances you take. You're going to regret the chances you didn't. That is very, universally known. I don't have to be on my deathbed to tell you that that is something that I think most people regret in their last moments are the chances they didn't take. That applies to your creativity. That applies to your dreams, your ideas. Create something, take action, and don't wait for someone else to do it. Don't wait for the perfect time. There's no right time to do it. The right time is now. If you're watching this, especially if you're listening to me, the right time is now. So go forward this week, take action, and of course, stay creative.